Point slope form. For some reason, when we did this in class, y'all did not like it. Y'all made it a little bit harder than it should have been. I'm going to start with when you're given a point and a slope. Basically, what I need you to know is you're going to have this number. You're going to have this one as a number. And then you'll have this as a number. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to plug in those three things, and you have to figure out where they're coming from. So if you look on the very first one, this one's a little easier than the others because they just flat out tell you that your slope is -4 and your point is 2, -3. So literally all you're doing is plugging in these points. So here's my y. Here's my m. And here's my x. And all we're going to do is plug them in. So y minus y1, which is the green number, equals m, which was the yellow number, x minus, now there's a parentheses here. Anytime you're plugging in a number, you want to use parentheses. Now, we're going to see if anything can simplify. Because of these two signs next to each other, that's technically minus a negative. Anytime you see minus a negative, that's just y plus, and then whatever follows. So it would be y plus 3. We're going to leave the -4. Here's x. Now, there's nothing to simplify here, so do I really need parentheses around that too? No, I don't. So then that becomes my answer. That's all you're doing. Now on this next problem, this time they give you 2 points, so that you have to go figure out what the slope is. Now what I was trying to get y'all to understand the other day is that yes, you can use the point slope formula, but we have a button that'll let us figure out what the slope is. So if you press stat and you press enter, so stat, enter, you're going to type in the x's in L1 and the y's in L2. So if you look, 2, -3, 2, -3, 4, 7, 4, 7. So you can still see the ordered pairs across from each other. So then you go stat, you want to go to the right to calc. We want a linear regression, so we're going to press 4, and then we're going to enter till we get the number to get the equation we need. So in this part, our slope is 5. Now I could use that. That'll definitely help us later, the -13, but for this purpose, all I want is the slope. So now I can do this 2 different ways. So some classes I did this and some I didn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to say y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. I'm going to do this twice because technically I could see either answer as an answer choice. So I don't know which one they're going to give me an answer for, so I'm going to do them both so that I know both of them are technically correct. So I know that my slope is 5. So here's my slope, the yellow, and I hope this doesn't bleed. It did. It's okay. Now there's our green number, and pink on pink probably isn't going to be very good, but you can semi-see what it is. So again, we're just plugging in the numbers. Y, this is x1, y1. So minus -3 equals our slope times x minus x1. So again, you have minus a negative, that just really means plus. That's not going to do anything for us, so it just comes out like that. Now I'm going to show you in a minute that it doesn't matter what number we used or what point we used, we're going to still end up with the same equation. So here we're going to do the same thing. Y minus, we're going to use now this one, y minus 7. Our slope is 5. Our x is 4. And now we're just plugging in, we're trying to see if anything reduces. So nothing reduces or simplifies. So there's our answer. Okay, so why does it matter which one we use? It technically doesn't, but I just need you to know that sometimes they'll give you one of these as an answer, or sometimes it can give you this. Now if we go a step further and we actually distribute this, this is 5x minus 10. If I want to get y by itself, I have to move this 3 over. So here's my equation, y equals 5x minus 13. So this is slope-intercept form. So this is slope-intercept. This right here is point slope. So both of these are correct. Now if you'll also remember, tying it all the way through, remember we had a -13 here, and that's where this came from. So if I did this to this one as well, I would still get this equation. So technically it doesn't matter which one we use. Well, if we went to slope-intercept form, they'd both give us this answer. Alright, so let's look at this guy. And again, I could use either one of these. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to use stat again so that I can find my slope. Now I should know that this is a negative slope because of the way it's pointing. So stat over 4. Let me make sure everybody followed this. So I put my points in, stat over 4, and I'm going to enter. Now, how do I write -0.5 as a fraction? Some of you already know the answer to that, but just in case you don't, you put -0.5 math, -0.5 math, enter, enter, and you get -1/2. Some of you already knew that without having to use the calculator. So my slope on this problem is -1/2. So we're only going to do one point, and I'm going to pick this point. I'm going to call this x1, y1. And now all I'm going to do is plug in points. Plug in numbers. So here's our equation. Here are the things that we've labeled. So now we're just plugging in points. Plugging in numbers. Y minus 0 equals -1/2 times x minus -1. Okay, so minus a negative, that just means plus 1. Okay, anything minus or plus 0 is just that number. So there's your equation. Alright, this one gave y'all some trouble as well. Okay, my slope is 3. My x is a number in front of the minus sign, and the y is behind the minus sign. Sorry, they're both behind it. So this is y1, this is m, and this is x1. So my slope is 3, and you can write your slope as a fraction, or you should write it as a fraction because you need it rise over run. And this is a positive slope, so we need it to go this direction. Now my ordered pair, remember when you write an ordered pair, it's always x1, y1. So it would be 3, 2. Now, how did I know that these were both positive? I need y'all to remember, like on this one right here, when x was negative, it made it turn to a positive. So it's actually opposite of what you would think. You would think that this is a negative 3, but it's not. It's a positive 3. So the first thing that you have to do is you have to plot the point. So I have to start with this guy first. This is my beginning. This is where I have to start. Ooh, I don't think y'all can see that. So we're gonna start, and I'm not spelling start correctly. So I have to go to 3, 2. So there's that point, 3, 2. Now I have to use this slope, so I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3 over 1, and I could continue doing that, or I could have gone down 1, 2, 3 over 1, and then I'm going to use a straight edge or something of the sort to connect all these. And there's your answer.